This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Off the top at 6 o'clock, we are in Storm Team 6 alert mode. You can see a live look from the city's east side and our radar on the right side of your screen. That rain is starting to come down. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. We will get to the very latest on the COVID-19 outbreak in just a few minutes. But first, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joins meteorologist Kyle Mounts tonight. They are both keeping you and your family safe ahead of the storm. We'll start first with you, Kevin.
And Nicole, torrential rainfall. That's the way I would describe it so far this afternoon in spots. We've got several flash flood warnings that I will show you here in a second. Just the big picture. One cluster of rain and thunderstorms from Indy north, then another area north and east from Muncie toward Winchester and Portland. Here are your flash flood warnings stretching over 100 miles from western side of Montgomery County all the way east of Muncie, where you've had 2 inches or more of rain so far. Severe thunderstorm warning in the eastern portion then of Delaware County toward Winchester, and that's for hail. These have been hail-producing storms as well as flooding rainfall. Muncie to Economy to Winchester and Portland. Back to the metro area, torrential rainfall from downtown up 31 to Carmel. That'll be at least the second time here in the afternoon that you've had this torrential rainfall. I want to show you the big picture. Thunderstorm watch in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. So far, heavy rain and hail have been the main threats, but that will change later this evening. Kyle?
And Kevin, we are going to add in a couple of additional threats. In fact, all storm modes are in play here, including the threat for some tornadoes, some gusty winds, and as you mentioned, some flooding and hail already in the mix there. Here's a look at that tornado threat map, and you can see all across central Indiana, we do have the potential, at least for an isolated tornado, a little better chance as we work our way toward the north and west, and you see those little lines, meaning a couple of those tornadoes that develop could be on the strong side around Lafayette and northwestern areas. Here's TrueCast, 9 o'clock tonight. That next round of thunderstorms starting to move in. I think it will increase in coverage here. And by 11 o'clock, pretty much all of central Indiana dealing with those strong to severe storms with the potential for some wind, hail, and isolated tornadoes. By midnight tonight, it's over the eastern half of central Indiana before it starts to slide out of here. All of this associated with a temperature change. We'll talk about some much cooler air that's going to be filtering in for the second half of the weekend. That comes on some gusty winds. More on that in a few minutes.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much. Well, it is important you have a way to get warnings as they are issued tonight. Our Storm Shield app will give you verbal notification of an alert as soon as it is issued. It's free to download. Just search Storm Shield in your smartphone's app store right now. Tonight, the other big story is the growing number of cases of coronavirus in the Hoosier State. The latest numbers from the state health department show more than 1,200 cases of COVID-19. 31 people have died from the virus. The state health department says 584 of those cases are here in Marion County. More than 8,400 people have been tested. As many Hoosiers continue to shelter in place, that has not stopped them from supporting each other in their community. RTV6's Troy Washington is working for you to show how one food pantry is working together to feed families during this time.
The Northside Ministry Food Pantry line just kept growing for more than 2 hours as volunteers worked to get food to families trying to make it through the pandemic. The pantry knows this isn't the time to be up close and personal, so as people pulled up to the Second Presbyterian Church on Meridian to stock up on groceries on Saturday morning, volunteers made the exchange a smooth one.
We make them stay in their vehicles, and then we shop inside, and I try to take as many notes as possible to get them the products that they want.
The pantry used to be self-serve, but because of COVID-19, the distribution style has changed. In fact, Lisa Enright was busy helping families when we talked to her over FaceTime.
We load their product in the car, just trying to keep everybody safe and distanced apart. And we have cleaning supplies inside. We are washing our hands constantly. We're wearing gloves.
That's not the only visible change here.
We are seeing a lot of new families, a lot of people that are out of work, just trying to find food.
She's talking about layoffs caused by businesses closing to try to slow the spread of the coronavirus. It's no secret many families are struggling to find food and make ends meet right now. And that's where the pantry comes in.
They're so appreciative. I mean, more than I've ever seen.
The pantry used to rely on senior citizen volunteers to help, but since the older population is considered to be the most vulnerable when it comes to the virus, they can't help right now, but someone else can.
We're seeing an uptick in our young volunteers, which is awesome because they're home and available to help us.
Working together to make sure no family goes without while sheltering in place and slowing the spread of the virus. Working for you in Washington Township, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. The National Guard is busy helping food banks across the state stock up with supplies. The food banks are in Marion, Monroe, Allen, Tippecanoe, and Lake counties. On Friday, Guardsmen helped deliver food boxes to more than 300 households. Tonight, as the number of coronavirus cases in the U.S. climbs above 100,000, a new rapid test could bring some hope. Johns Hopkins University says the U.S. now leads the world in the number of cases. As Meredith Wood reports, 2 medical ships are deploying to bring much needed bed space to hospitals in some of the hardest hit areas.
This great ship behind me is a 70,000-ton message of hope and solidarity to the incredible people of New York.
President Donald Trump made the trip to Norfolk, Virginia Saturday for the departure ceremony of the USNS Comfort. It is one of the 2 naval hospital ships relocating to help ease the strain in some of the hard-hit areas from the coronavirus. The USNS Mercy arrived in the port of Los Angeles Friday, and the president says the Comfort should arrive in New York by Monday. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says patients who don't have COVID-19 will be sent there, freeing up space in city hospitals for people who do. Saturday, Trump said he is considering a mandatory quarantine for New York and surrounding areas.
There's a possibility that sometime today we'll do a quarantine, short-term, 2 weeks on New York, probably New Jersey, certain parts, and Connecticut.
Moments after the remark, Cuomo said he had not spoken to the president about that. Some good news for those fighting the spread of the pandemic. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration fast-tracked approval for a new coronavirus test that can give results not in days, but in about 15 minutes.
It's a great step forward. We're very thankful for it. We'll get it going April 1st.
Working for you, Meredith Wood, RTV6.
All right, Meredith. Well, thank you so much. And now tonight to this story. The death of a nurse in New York is hitting close to home. Mariah Sharon says her brother tested positive for COVID-19 days before he died. He texted his sister from the ICU.
In the text, he said, "I can't talk because I choke." He was having difficulty breathing. He said, I'm going to be okay. And he said, "Please don't tell Mom and Dad because they'll worry."
Well, Sharon is a faculty member at Ivy Tech in Indianapolis. She says her brother, 48-year-old Caius Kelly, died Tuesday from the virus after getting sick 2 weeks ago. Sharon says healthcare workers across the country are now reaching out to her, sharing their stories and concerns.
It is dire. It is dire. What I'm also hearing from nurses is it's only the doctors that have the N95 mask. The nurses, the janitors, the food, everyone else is wide open.
According to his Facebook page, Kelly graduated from Butler. He worked at Mount Sinai Health West Hospital in Manhattan. The coronavirus is impacting people who rent out their homes and apartments as Airbnbs. And because of that, an Indianapolis couple is deciding to let a local healthcare worker stay in their apartment for free. It all started with a Facebook post from Jax Von Liria and his husband, Michael Hoster, who live in the Holy Cross neighborhood. The post says because all events are canceled, they aren't getting any bookings right now. And since they know there are a lot of doctors and nurses that are busy saving lives, they offered the studio apartment up and received dozens of responses. They now have their first healthcare workers staying in the apartment.
The stories that they were telling us, they were so heartbreaking that we got very overwhelmed. There is nurses that they are sleeping in their cars because they can't go to see their children. They are the nurse that it's in a rental right now, who her son has a bone marrow transplant, and she hadn't seen him in like 3 weeks. And she was sleeping in one part of the hospital, and she hasn't had any proper sleep, and the list just goes on.
Allison Eisenhower works as an X-ray tech at IU Health, and she has a son that has leukemia. She found out on Tuesday she was exposed to a person who had contact with a positive patient, and her son's team at Riley advised her not to go home. Airbnb is partnering with hosts to connect 100,000 healthcare providers and first responders with clean places to stay in an effort to safely distance from their families. Jackson Michael hope other hosts in Indianapolis take their lead and open up their spaces as well. Tonight, Beech Grove police are investigating a pair of deaths. What we know tonight still ahead on the news at 6. Kyle.
And we've got some quick moving storms from around Greenfield into Noblesville moving back toward Anderson. Kevin and I will track yet another round of storms in your Saturday forecast. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
Crew cab pickups.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Storm Team 6 is in alert mode tonight. Our INDOT traffic cameras are giving a first-hand look at conditions. This is a live look right now at this hour in Fishers. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory and Kyle Mounds will have the very latest coming up in just a few minutes. Tonight, Beech Grove police are searching for answers in 2 death investigations. Police say a man and a woman were found dead in close proximity to each other. Investigators say a passerby found the man around 9:30 this morning in a ditch off South Emerson Avenue near I-465. Then about 2 hours later, the woman was found dead in a room at the Days Inn. Tonight, police say they are still working to learn if the 2 deaths are related. New at 6 o'clock, a heartbreaking scene from Switzerland County. That's in southeastern Indiana near the Ohio River. The Department of Homeland Security says multiple people have died in a house fire there. Tonight, the state fire marshal is investigating the cause of that fire. Tonight, a boil water advisory is in effect for some residents on the city's south side. The order is a result of a water main break near Stop 11 Road and Emerson Avenue. The boil order is in effect for those north of County Line Road and west of I-74. It also impacts customers east of I-65 north to Edgewood Avenue. If you live in those areas, you are asked to boil your water for 48 hours or until the order is lifted. Repairs to the water main are expected to be complete by 10 o'clock tonight. Storm Team 6 is tracking the threat for severe weather across central Indiana. For the latest, we need to get right over to Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory and Meteorologist Kyle Mounds. Kevin, let's start with you.
And take me just 1 second here to find my spot. There's a lot going on, so I was just trying to download a picture here of hail in portions of Hamilton County. We've had lots of reports of hail through the afternoon, and you can see right now across areas in northern Marion County. Look at the clouds pretty much just sitting on the ground. That gives you the low base from which the heavy rainfall comes, and here's the hail. Many reports of pea-sized to even ping-pong ball size hail through the afternoon hours. Want to give you the big picture. Tornado watch sits to our west. That's with the cold front. We've had a thunderstorm watch with the advancing warmer air lifting to the north. Temperatures have jumped into the 70s, warmest day of 2020 as a result. This thunderstorm watch until 8 o'clock. We'll wait and see, but we may transition to a tornado watch later this evening. As you look at the radar, if it's raining, it's all outpouring. Show you the different warnings that have just expired for eastern Indiana. Closer look at the heaviest rainfall in Hancock County, Greenfield to New Powell, then up to Fortville, LaPel, Anderson. You've got heavy rainfall. As you come to the north, anywhere east of 31, the heavy rainfall will continue for a little bit. And this was recently producing some hail over Winchester and Portland. Last stop, don't want to make you dizzy with all these stops, but Boone County, Hamilton County spots have seen 3 inches of rain already, Kyle. Other areas over 2 from Crawfordsville all the way east to Muncie.
And with that rain, you also mentioned the hail. Here's another photo coming in from Donna Sweeney earlier today in the Carmel area. We've had some reports of hail even around $half size not too long ago in the Ladoga area. And you can see it has primarily been hail across central Indiana. We've had 50 hail reports this afternoon, but we do make that transition. We'll keep hail in the cards here, but also an isolated tornado and damaging wind threat here by 9 o'clock this evening. You see a few more of those storms moving in from the southwest, another line of those storms. So even once you have a line of storms moving through, you're not totally done just yet. By 11 o'clock tonight, most of us will be dealing with strong to severe storms. It moves into the eastern half of central Indiana by midnight. And after that, I think things will kind of quiet down. Just a couple of isolated downpours out there. Temperature-wise, yeah, we got a boundary across central Indiana. The warm and muggy stuff from Indianapolis to the south, a little cooler around Tipton and Peru, especially rain-cooled there, where we've got temperatures in the 50s. By tomorrow morning, we're going to hold in the 50s. You notice our temperatures bounce around a little bit, actually falling down to around 50 degrees by noon, but we'll come back up to around 60 for the afternoon, and I think just an isolated shower chance. Now, tomorrow, much of central Indiana, north of Bloomington and Columbus, there is a wind advisory in effect. We'll have steady winds through the day, around 25 miles per hour, but we're going to have those wind gusts as we get into the afternoon that could be close to 50 miles per hour. So if you've already put out some of that patio furniture or dark decorations there for springtime, want to make sure that those are all tied down or brought in. 7-day planning forecast now put things together for you, and it will get a little bit cooler here as we go into Tuesday, especially. Just 46 will be the high there, a bit chilly. Then temperatures start to rebound a little bit here. You notice things are going to be fairly quiet and dry the next several days, so that is certainly some good news after some locations are dealing with flash flooding this evening. We'll see those temperatures into the 60s with another chance for rain by the end of the week. Nicole?
All right, Kyle, thank you. The coronavirus may have delayed the 2020 IndyCar season from getting started on time, but it's not stopping drivers from taking to the track virtually, of course. 25 drivers, including Joseph Newgard and Simon Pagenaud and Tony Kanaan, are participating in the iRacing IndyCar Challenge. The race at the virtual Watkins Glen also includes special guests like NASCAR driver Jimmy Johnson and IndyCar driver Robert Wickens. This afternoon's race is the first of 6 to be held each week through May 2nd. Next week, the teams will travel to Barber Motorsports Park for another virtual race. Very cool. Well, tonight, several Indy businesses in the heart of downtown want you to know they are open for business. Our Brad Brown takes you to them when we come back.
Police on the 2020 Rogue.
Welcome back. This week, we've been shining a spotlight on some area restaurants staying open during the COVID-19 pandemic. Downtown Indy City Market has several vendors still taking orders. As our Brad Brown reports, some of them are teaming up for a unique customer service option.
Without the daily bustle of downtown, the vendors that are open inside Indianapolis City Market have had to come up with ways to keep business going. The result? Teaming up for a cooperative effort to get food where it needs to go.
I was doing it just for me, and I told a few people about it, and they're like, well, can we jump on it? So it became our little City Market website.
Mike Gomez of Gomez Barbecue spearheaded the effort. His restaurant's website is now a hub to order from more than a half dozen City Market restaurants. And every day, Mike himself is ready to make the deliveries.
One of the customers wouldn't come out of the door, and I said, that's fine, no worries. And he sent me a message immediately after. That was so awkward. I'm sorry I didn't come out. And I was like, it's okay, dude, no worries. I understand completely. Like, just put a box out and we'll drop it off next week if you want some next week.
We've been leaving an envelope taped on the door, and then we just leave it at their doorstep and ring the doorbell and run. So just kind of coming up with creative ways. It's amazing how something like this will make you get very creative in how to stay in business.
Each day of the week, a different neighborhood is on the schedule. But in times like this, the crews here are ready to make it happen any day they can.
It's absolutely a very supportive atmosphere and environment right now. We're all trying to make sure that we all see each other and remain in business through this.
Check out the deliveries. Go to the places you love that are still delivering and still doing curbside.
So until you can once again come to the market, for now, a bit of the market can come to you. Working for you downtown, Brad Brown, RTV6.
Brad, thank you. Thunderstorms continue to move through central Indiana. This is a live look right now in Pendleton where you can see those raindrops are covering that camera there. Storm Team 6 has the forecast for the rest of your evening when we come back.
Happy birthday, Papa. We love you.
COVID-19 could not get in the way of a boy's birthday celebration here in Indianapolis. Brian turned 6 on Friday and unable to have a big party. His parents came up with Plan B. Friends and family in their decorated vehicles did a drive-by wishing Brian a happy 6th birthday. People also dropped off presents during his birthday parade. Making it work, Kyle.
Happy birthday to you, Brian. All right, on Storm Team 6 radar, we are going to continue to track some storms. No severe warnings at this point, but some heavy rain, still possibly some hail from Greenfield to the northeast. We get a brief breather. I think we'll see more storms entering southwest Indiana about 8, 9 o'clock tonight with the potential for some gusty winds, hail, isolated tornadoes. Kevin and I will be here to track it for you.
All right, Kyle, thank you so much, and thank you for